Tock was released in 2000. This is written and directed by Kevin Tenney, and we have a cast including Megan Ward, Kristin Minter, Linden Ashby, and John Ratzenberger. And it's because of Ratzenberger that I became aware of this, and I'm pleased that I had a reason to watch it. It's a good narrative, and the performances are really good. And there are some things about it that really stood out to me that I want to mention. Some really small things, but I rather enjoyed this one. Rachel is married to, well, her husband. And she decides that maybe she can kill him for his inheritance, and that's what the film is about. But her husband is quite suspicious about things, and that brings in Ratzenberger's character, who is a private investigator. And something I want to mention here, it's such a small thing, but I loved. We see Ratzenberger, well, Fairfield, his character, writing several times. He's a PI, he's making notes, and just the ASMR from that was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. The other thing, or a few things I want to mention, we have some really great sound effects. With this kind of film, this kind of narrative, I don't usually pay much attention to the sound effects. They're not usually anything spectacular or worthy of note. But with this one, pretty great. There's one point where we look at a clock and then we hear the sounds of the clock, but it kind of merges into the next, well, as the scene progresses, and it was just really well done. We have some really creative editing as well. Nothing over the top, nothing that seems a bit ridiculous, but just little things here and there that really stood out as being quite creative and well done. The narrative itself is interesting. It's slow, though, to begin with. I'd say the first half an hour is very, very slow. But after we get to that point and the narrative kicks in, the pacing is really good and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. The characters are very well written. I think that certainly Fairfield and Travis are both very likeable characters. Really enjoyed watching the performances. I liked this a lot more than I thought. I didn't have any specific expectations going into it. I just thought, well, it's Ratzenberger, let's give it a go. And I'm pleased to say I thought it was pretty decent. Definitely quite creative and interesting narrative. Slow to begin with, but ultimately not too bad at all, and with some really solid performances as well. So needless to say, I'm quite happy to recommend Tock. I thought it was a decent film, and if it sounds like something that might appeal to you, then I'd say it's worth watching.